Yo, what's in the bag? Oh.
Oh! Trying to get lit?
If you're a vlogger or someone who's trying to start one, listen up, because I want you to never do what I did. I need you to learn from my mistake. This is where my story starts. I arrived early in the morning at my buddy Ben's house in Connecticut, and our plan for the day was to hit up New York City. But first he's like, which car should we take? The Benz or the Rover? We took the Rover. So we hit the road, and the entire ride, about an hour ride, we are just goofing off. You know, we hadn't seen each other in so long, and I just couldn't stop laughing to the point where my abs were hurting. I'm pretty sure I had a six-pack for the day. So we make it to Long Island City, which is just outside of Manhattan, and we're there to pick up another buddy, Joey. But we can't find parking. We find all these spots on the street, but they have a sign saying authorized parking only for like cops or something. And then we find a parking garage. We pull in, it's full, and we're like, can you squeeze in one car? Just one car. Nope. So we found this other sketchy parking lot. So we give the keys to the guy to park it, and we were positive we were never seeing the Rover again. So we meet up with Joey, and we're off to the subway for my first New York City subway ride ever. All right, what should I be expecting? But it is horrible.
Some rat just crawls into your pants.
And to my surprise, there wasn't any acrobatic performances going on. So we pull up to the Canal Street stop, and we walk around Soho. The first store we go into is Off-White. I knew I was going in there not getting anything, but it's still a place you gotta go and see. So we walk up to the door, and the guard's like, no recording. Which I kinda saw coming, but it kinda set the tone for the day where, you know, maybe I shouldn't record the day because it's just gonna be everyone telling me I can't record. But it was an experience, even though I have no footage of it. Then we moved on to this other store called Kith, where a collection was dropping that day. And it was cool and all, but if you're familiar with Kith, I only ended up getting a milkshake. I heard that. I actually heard that inside, and I looked and I was like, did someone do that? Was that your straw?
Yeah.
Dairy free, of course. Eventually we landed at Flight Club, which is a well-known sneaker store in the city. And it was there that I realized I'm sitting on a gold mine. I'll save that for another video. We then hit up this rooftop bar where I swear all I saw were people taking Instagram photos. They were more concerned about the photos than enjoying the scenery, the view. I saw this one girl, had to have been younger than 18, up there with like her grandmother, just taking photos. They didn't even stay for food or drink. Kind of pathetic if you ask me. Then we went back to Joey's to enjoy his rooftop. I took a little time lapse. I might show it. I don't know how it turned out. And we just hung out, you know? On the way back to Connecticut to Ben's house, we stopped at this restaurant, a Greek place. Great place, beautiful night, great weather, the vibe, the atmosphere, it was perfect. I ordered some peppers as an appetizer, and the waitress goes, oh, that's one of two things we don't have, that and the octopus. I almost lost it, but we managed to have a great dinner. There was even some fireworks. Unfortunately, no debris landed in our food. And that was pretty much it for that night. I went to bed positive I was going to be woken up by Ben in the most obnoxious way. Obviously as a joke though. And sure enough, that was his plan, but I heard his footsteps, so I ruined that plan. Planned on hanging out for a bit and then heading out, you know, hopefully by noon, and maybe hit up New Haven Pizza. You know, I hear that's really good. Maybe go to the Mystic Aquarium. I hear great things about that as well. Might as well do all that while I'm down in that area, right? We grabbed some breakfast. I got an acai bowl. His wife did too. Great woman. Then we went back to the house, and it was there that I found out that they're selling their second refrigerator on Facebook Marketplace, and someone was coming that day to pick it up. So I helped him get the fridge up the stairs, and we cheese grated that thing on the way up. It was scratched so bad. So the buyer shows up and inspects the fridge like he's a pro. Meanwhile, I'm waiting for him to notice the scratches. He never does. But obviously he lowballs the price like he knows what he's talking about. But we got rid of the fridge. After that, Ben and I just hung out for hours and talked about life, reminiscing, the future, about sneakers. Boy, can we talk about sneakers. This is the kind of friendship where you're not forcing conversation. You know, it's just flowing. It's non-stop. There's really not enough time to say everything. Then his nanny left and we had to take over watching his baby girl. It's so crazy to think where we came from when we met in college to now. Him having a child, a family. It's not hard to believe at all, but it's wild. And while I'm crawling on the floor with this kid, Ben gets a text from the guy who bought the fridge. He's saying the fridge is not cold. And if you saw the guy, this would be no surprise to you. Of course he would pull that. He said he was gonna let it run overnight and see if it got any colder. But I just texted Ben seeing if there's any update. Maybe he'll respond while I'm recording. But anyway, before I know it, it's like 7 o'clock at night. The point where I gotta get going. I didn't plan to stay that long, but obviously I'm glad I did. And obviously New Haven Pizza and the aquarium are way out of the picture. I think the aquarium was even closed at that time. And as I'm saying goodbye, wouldn't you know it, a Category 5 hurricane rainstorm rolls on in. It wasn't a hurricane, but the rainstorm was heavy, and it was perfect timing for a 2.5-hour drive home. And that ride sucked for 15 minutes. Fortunately, it cleared up and the rest of the ride home was a breeze. But it was on the ride home that I realized something. I should have been recording those 2 days. Were those days absolutely thrilling? No, but they were definitely memories I wish I could look back at 10 years from now and have clear recollection. And that is where vlogging comes into play. Vlogging in the end is for yourself. Sure, some people make a career out of it, but in my opinion, it's your life. It's your memories for you to look back at. And it only goes to show that telling you about these past 2 days is not what a vlogger should do. They should record as much of it as possible. Sure, I wouldn't have been able to film inside those stores, but that's fine. That's part of the experience. Shoot what you can. It is 100 times more entertaining to show someone rather than to tell them. That's like the #1 rule in like screenwriting, filmmaking, all that. So keep the cameras rolling whether you think you're shooting something good or not. I tell you this, I am never making that mistake again. I thought I had nothing for a vlog. There ended up being conflict, you know, some resolution. If you stayed for the entire video, A, thank you, and B, you agree that it would have been far more entertaining if I had clips to show, right? That is why you record everything.